Hello,
Hello, Feliz Lunes. How are you today?
fine.
Good. How was your weekend?
It was good. Nothing.
Nothing new and exciting?
No, ma'am.
I have new and exciting. You guys have spring break coming up.
I said to my IoT teacher, you're probably gonna send us packets.
I'm not going to send you packets. I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to do the opposite of that. Stay tuned, DeAndre. Stay tuned. So, what'd you do this weekend? Anything?
No, nothing. So, my test,
Yeah.
I can still, well, do it.
The Prueba, you mean? The one on past tense and direct object pronouns? Is that the one you mean?
Um, I'm This for the test last week on
Yeah.
Wednesday.
Yeah. Well, do you want to do it? Are you comfortable in doing it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Well, stay tuned, like I said, and I'll tell you what we're going to do. Okay. As
Okay.
soon as we get a class in here. Hi, Serenity. How are you? Buenos dias. ¿Qué tal?
Hi, I'm doing good. What about you?
Good.
That's good.
I'm good. No point in complaining.
Right.
I've been wearing knee braces because all of a sudden my knees, I tore my meniscus in my left knee, and now my right knee is starting to give me troubles. So I actually go tomorrow after school. I go for an MRI, see what the heck's going on.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I hope everything goes well.
Me too, because I can't go for my walks without my knees.
Right.
Good morning, Hill. How are we today?
Good, how are you?
Good. So we have an easy warm up today. Obviously, you guys, it's behind me. Have you checked your Canvas grade lately? And are you satisfied with it? And what do we need to do to finish fourth quarter stronger than we did third quarter? Just things to think about, things to do while we wait for who else is going to join us today. All right, we're going to get started here in just a second. I know. I hear you, Hill. Anybody else have any thoughts? Are you satisfied with your grades so far? How can you get this one higher than last third quarter? Okay. right, so let's go ahead and get started, you guys. What are we doing today? We are let me switch my screen up here. Hola, Isadora, how are you today? Okay, you guys, it's Monday. And we're going to continue. Vamos a practicar con los pronombres, los complementos indirectos, right? But before we do anything, let's kind of map out the week. You know, it's Monday, right? On Wednesday, this class ends at, what is it, 1:15 for you guys? Is that right? At 1:15 your time? Am I right on Wednesdays? Yes or no? Because I'm in a different time zone, so help me out here. Is that correct? On Wednesdays, does this class end at 1:15 for you? Yes? Okay. So here's on Wednesday. If you are going to shine, okay, then you guys you're going to have normal attendance the first part of the day because your high school shine is on Wednesday. And then you need to be at the library there at 12:30 if you're going to go to shine. Okay? At 12:30. So if you are not going to go to shine, okay, I'll probably be in class. I'll probably be sitting here. Okay. And so if you want to join me, you can join me on Wednesday. Okay. So I'll be here. Class will be going on. Like I'll be sitting here, I think, unless they tell me otherwise. And you guys will have a normal period, normal school morning. But if you go to shine, you got to be there at 12:30 at the library. Okay. Any questions about that? As far as class goes, okay, here's the deal. As far as class goes, my main objective is to try to give you guys an opportunity to get caught up with all of your work before Friday. In other words, my main goal is to get you guys onto your spring break, okay, with no Spanish work to do for fourth quarter. Does that make sense? Yes or no? And so what that means is if your responsibility is to hang out with me in Zoom, we'll do class, most of the hour. Then I'll give you guys time at the end of the hour. And then your job is to hang out with me. And then I can answer questions. I can help you with the instructions. I can do whatever. Our goal as a class, right, is to make sure that come Friday, you don't have any Spanish work to do. Okay. Does that sound like a plan to everybody? Let me know if you have any questions. Yeah, sounds like a good plan. Okay. Muy bien. So let's go ahead and just kind of warm up a little bit today. So take a look at my screen. Good morning, Jada. Okay. Take a look at my screen, clase. If I go too fast or if you need me to repeat something, then by all means, let me know. So we started out practicing with these direct object pronouns, and then we switched on over to these indirect object pronouns. We started them last week. And so I just kind of wanted to it's a weekend, right? So I just kind of want to refresh our brains a little bit, right? So let's take a look at some examples here. It says, Ana compra una camisa a Juan. Anna is buying a shirt for Juan. What is the thing being bought? Is the camisa. So that's the direct object, right? And we would replace it with either lo, la, los, or las. Okay. In this case, because camisa is feminine and singular, we would replace it with la. the direct object. So we would say Ana la compra a Juan. Anna is buying it for Juan. Okay. So you guys, I'm looking at this example right here. Okay. So that's what we had practiced. But then we switched on over here to this indirect object. Okay. Anna's buying a shirt for Juan, for him. And we looked last week at like clues that we could use in sentences to help us. And we said that a would be a clue and para would be a clue. Okay. So if we see those in sentences, we know that those might be an indirect object. What do we replace them with? Well, we're talking about people here. Juan, we're saying him. Anna's buying a shirt for him, for Juan. So if we come down here, okay, for him, we would use le. So Ana le compra una camisa. Anna is buying him a shirt. Ana le compra una camisa. Okay. Any questions about that? That's what we practiced last week. Okay. Remember that all of this information, you guys, is in your resource library module as well. So we are going to continue practicing these today. We're going to look at something else. We're going to add another little twist to it first. Okay. All right. So I'm going to stop sharing. And if you are a note taker, I need you guys to take notes. I also need for you guys to not work on other assignments while I'm giving you fresh instruction. Okay. That's not helpful to you because you're going to miss this and you're always going to play the catch-up game. I just explained you guys are going to have time at the end of the hour to work on stuff. Right now, you need to focus on actual live class participation. Okay. Okay, so here's our first thing. And if you are a note taker, you need to go ahead and get those started, please. Okay. So, I'm going to have to use this as my whiteboard because I don't have another option here. Okay. So, me, te, le. I'm just going to put these up here so that we remember nos, and you guys remember what the other one was? Nos and les, right? Because we need the plural. Okay, les. I need to do that. Okay. All right. So we have to know, obviously, we have to know what these mean. Okay. And so once again, if we flip back over here, me is like to me or for me. Te is like to you or for you. Le is to him or her or for usted, right? Or for him or for her or for you, meaning usted, for usted. Nos is for us or to us. Les is to them or for them or to ustedes or for ustedes. Okay. Now, sometimes in Spanish, they like to repeat themselves. Okay. They like to repeat themselves. Here's what I mean. Okay. I'm going to add something to this up here. And this is like a hint for you. Okay. So if I say, for example, a mí, a ti, a él, ella, or a usted. Okay. Sorry, you guys, this is the only way I can have a whiteboard. Okay. This would be a nosotros or nosotras. Okay. And then this one is going to be a ellos, ellas, or a ustedes. Okay. See if I can move this over here. So I'll explain to you in just 1 second. Okay. Hold on. All right. So let's kind of look at some examples here. Oops. So in Spanish, what happens, you guys, is they repeat themselves. This is super duper important. So please listen. They repeat themselves. Okay. So let's say, for example, can't get this to come back over here. Okay. Let's say, for example, the sentence is, let me think of a simple sentence. I don't know, let's say, nosotros, comma, no, nope. Hang on, let me think of a sentence, you guys. I apologize. I gotta think of a good sentence. I'm gonna stop sharing for just a minute. I gotta think of a good sentence. I don't want to confuse you. Okay. All right, let's try to do this. Let's go simple. Okay. All right. So let's say, you guys, I want to say I like dogs. Let's just do dogs. Okay. So I can say me gusta or me gustan los perros. I like dogs. Okay. Now, what you're going to see in Spanish is that they repeat themselves. So, for example, you may see a sentence that says, a mí me gustan los perros. Okay. So they're repeating themselves. They're saying, you guys, me, I like dogs. Okay. And why do they repeat themselves? Because they are emphasizing. Okay. They are emphasizing things. So let's pretend that we're putting it in a conversation. Let's say pretend there's a bunch of kids talking in the playground at school. Okay. And they're talking about, oh, I like frogs and I like birds and I like whatever. And some kid pipes in and says, I like dogs. Right. And maybe somebody didn't hear him. And so some other kid says, what do you like? Right. A mí, they're pointing to themselves. Me gustan los perros. A mí. Right. Not Billy. Billy doesn't like dogs. Pero a mí me gustan. So they repeat themselves. Okay. Now, why does that matter? Well, here's why it matters. Because you have to use the appropriate pronoun. So if you see a mí, you know that you're going to use me. Okay. If you see a ti, you know that your pronoun is going to be te. Okay, so if I could change this and I would say, ¿te gustan los perros? Right? You like dogs. Simple sentence. You like dogs. Right? You like dogs. And again, in the course of the conversation, right? You would say, you like dogs? Let's make it a question. Do you like dogs? Right? Sí. Te gustan. Right? Te gustan a ti. Te gustan a ti. Yes, you like them. Yes, you like them. Okay, so we have te because that goes with a ti, or we have a ti, and so we have to use te. They're interchangeable. It's very confusing. We do not speak this way. Okay, but you need to recognize that if you see something, because an indirect object is indirect, which is why we have that or why we have that para. Okay, then you need to use one of these indirect pronouns. Does that make any sense, you guys? So let me give you another example. Let's say we were saying, Bob y Susie, okay, les gustan los perros. Okay. It's Bob and Susie. Look, you guys, it's plural. We're saying they. So we would come up here and say, oh, they're talking about they, Bob and Susie. So our pronoun is les. Right? You see that here, les. Because we're saying they like dogs. Who likes dogs? They do. They. The Spanish have this way of like repeating themselves. Okay. All right. Any questions about that? We're going to see this, and I just need you to make sure that you realize that if you see something like an a mí or an a él or an a usted, you're going to replace it with one of these indirect object pronouns. Okay. So coming back here, you guys, if you can see this middle example, I realize this is not ideal, but we're going to have to go with the tools we have. Okay. So let's look here. Let's say we're talking about Carlos. Okay. So we're saying him, he, and therefore le. So a Carlos le gusta el jugo de naranja. Okay. They use it for emphasis or clarification. So that's what this is about. Okay. Okay, so let's practice a little bit, shall we? I am going to put up on the screen a couple of sentences. And what I would like for you to do in the chat, because that's our scrap paper, okay, is number them and tell me which pronoun you would use to fill in the blank. Okay, so let's do the first one together. It's a Julio. So we're saying Julio likes to ride a bike. Who does? He does. And it's an indirect object because we have our a here. Okay, so if it's Julio, we're saying he. Right, you guys? We're saying he. And so which pronoun goes with he? Very good. Anyone else? Very good. Very good. So we're going to put le here, right? Le. A Julio le gusta. Okay, so in the chat, please, real quick, number them for me. What would you put for 2, 3, 4, or 5 in the chat, you guys? We'll share out answers or whatever. I'll give you a few minutes. The quicker you respond, the more time we'll have at the end of class to work on assignments. So for now, we need to focus on this, please, okay? 2 through 5 in the chat, please. 2 through 5. Number them for me. 2 through 5. Very good, Jen Miracle. That's perfect. 2 through 5 in the chat, please. Good job, Jen Miracle. Anyone else? 2 through 5. I'll give you some time to think about them. Okay. Jada. Okay, number 3, Jada, is plural. So take another look at it. The rest are good. Trey, see what you got. Perfect, Trey. Hill, let's see what you got. Okay, Hill number 3 is plural. But the rest are good. Isadora, good job. Okay, Jada, same. Number 3 is plural. You guys be careful with number 3. Okay. All right, you guys have done great job. All right, so let's see. So me, we know becomes me. That's an easy one. Okay, we're gonna skip number 3 for now because that was the more confusing one. Number 4, a ti gets te. Very good. Hi, Kenzie. And numero 5 is Reynaldo y Miguel. So they, it's 2 guys, right? So it would be less. But let's look at this one. A Gregorio y a mí. Okay, thank you, Kenzie. Me, Greg and I, Greg and me. We like to talk on the phone. So what would it be for number 3? Greg and me. Very good, Hill. Anybody else? You're right, DeAndre. Greg and me is the same as we. And so which pronoun would it be? It'd be like nosotros. And so it would be nos. Remember our little hint, you guys. Anytime it's like Gregorio y yo and I or and me, it's always going to be we. Okay. So Greg and me is we, right? Anytime you include yourself and another person or something is going to be we. Okay. All right. Any questions about any of those? So give me a 3, 2, 1, you guys. How do you feel about those? How comfortable are you? 3, 2, 1. Good, Hill. Anybody else? Pop it in the chat. 3, 2, 1. How comfortably do you feel? Are you feeling there 3? Are you still needing practice? Is it 2? Or I don't understand anything, and that's a 1. Okay, Trey. Thank you, Isadora. Okay, thank you, Serenity. Anybody else? Anybody else? Okay, I'm going to give you guys, thank you, Jada. I'm going to give you guys a choice. Okay, because I want to give you all a choice. Okay, we all learn differently or whatever. Would you prefer to complete like a 4 or 5 minute Ed puzzle where we watch the video and we answer questions to practice? Or would you prefer that I pull up some examples on the screen and we work through them together? Which do you prefer? An Ed puzzle is number 1. Examples number 2 is number 2. Okay, thank you. I got a vote. I got 1 vote for an Ed puzzle. I got 2 votes for an Ed puzzle. Ed puzzle's number 1. Examples is number 2. Okay, it looks like Ed puzzle's winning out. Okay, 1 more vote. Ed puzzle or we work through sentences together. Okay, Ed puzzle has won by majority. Okay, so let me get this set up here. Okay. All right, here we go. So please make sure you can see, make sure you can hear, and then you want to make sure that you participate. That's the whole point, right? Is to see if you're right or wrong, to see if you're understanding, right? You got to put answers in the chat, okay? All right. And if you have a question, obviously you can stop me at any point, okay? All right, make sure you all can hear, and here we go.
Spanish lessons from somebody who speaks your language. At the very beginning of this video, I said direct objects usually answer the questions what or whom. I buy food. What do I buy? Food. Well, indirect objects usually answer the questions to whom or for whom pertaining to the direct object. So I buy you food. For whom do I buy the food? For you. You is the indirect object, and in this case, already an indirect object.
Okay. So I buy you food. Question. Careful on this one. What is the direct object? The direct object. The direct object. What is the thing being bought? A, B, C, or D? Yeah, good, Hill. Good. So our answer would be B. The thing being bought, right, is food. That's the word that's directly getting the action from the verb, okay? The indirect object would be, I buy food for you, right? Or I buy you food for you. And so our answer would be A, B, C, or D. I buy food for you. Remember, you guys, the word or the word para is our indirect object, okay? It's not the thing being bought. The thing being bought is the food, that's direct. And then who you buying the food for, okay? For you. And so you is our indirect object, okay?
Direct object pronoun. Here's the chart of all the indirect object pronouns in Spanish. Do they look familiar? They should. Except for the 3rd row here, they're exactly the same as the direct object pronouns you already learned. I object pronoun. Here's the chart of all the indirect object pronouns in Spanish. Do they look familiar? They
can't, there, okay. I want to slow him down. He goes too fast. Doesn't he talk too fast, you guys? I'm going to slow him down. Okay, here we go.
They should. Except for the 3rd row here, they're exactly the same as the direct object pronouns you already learned. I buy you food would be te compro comida. Notice the placement of te before the conjugated verb. This is just like direct object pronouns. It's tricky, but if you've already practiced, this will be no harder. As always.
Okay, so where in the sentence do we put our direct objects? Do you remember those rules? We did a whole day on placement. If we have a verb, where does it go? Does it go attached to the conjugated verb at the end, before the verb, or after the verb? Yes, Serenity. Good job. It goes before the conjugated verb, right? So we have two choices, right? We can put it in front of the verb, the first verb that's conjugated, that's been changed. Or if we have a sentence that has two verbs and the second verb is in the infinitive or the original form, we can just tack it onto that one. So we have two choices: in front of the first verb that's been conjugated, or tack it on to the end of a verb in its original form if you have two verbs in a sentence. Okay.
Always, though, it's the third row here that really messes everything up. As you see, it's just plain different. With direct object pronouns, him is masculine and her is feminine. Him is lo and her is la. But with indirect object pronouns, him and her are both la. It works the same on the plural side. So I love him would be lo amo. I love her would be la amo. But I buy him the food would be le compro la comida. And I buy her the food would also be le compro la comida. See how this can get a...
Okay. So do indirect objects show gender? Sí o no? What did he just say? He just said that le is always going to be le, right? Whether it's I buy him food or I buy her food, right? It's always going to be le. So there is no gender. Okay. Do they show whether or not they're plural, Blase? We have le and we have less. So what's our answer here? Yes. Okay. Well.
Now this can get a little confusing, so in Spanish, it's important you can identify the direct object and the indirect object in a sentence, because sometimes which pronoun you use will depend on it. Let's practice this in English quickly to get used to it before we see it in Spanish. Manuel tells me a story.
Okay. Manuel tells me a story. So which is the direct object? A, B, C, or D? The direct object. So you have to ask yourself, what is the thing receiving the action of the verb? Directly, right? That's why it's called a direct object. Yes, yes. So you're right. So what is being told, right, is the story. Okay. So a direct object is the thing that directly receives the action of the verb. In other words, what's being told? The story is being told. Okay. Okay, now identify the indirect object. The story is being told to whom or for whom, right? So what's our answer? Okay, let me say it again. Listen carefully. The indirect object, to whom or for whom, is the story being told. Who is the story being told to? Who is the story being told for? Okay. Who is the story being told to? Okay. The story is being told to me, right? The story is being told to me. Manuel tells me a story. Okay. That's an indirect object. To me, like to who or for who. That's the indirect object. That's the question you have to answer. Okay.
Story. A story is the direct object. It answers the question, what? What does Manuel tell? Then me is the indirect object pronoun. It answers the question, to whom? To whom does Manuel tell a story? Here's another one.
Okay. He sells her the phone. So what would be the direct object? What object is directly receiving the action from the verb? What's your answers? Correct. If you said the phone, you're correct, because that is what, you guys, is being sold. Okay. Right? Remember that the direct object receives the action of the verb directly. So it's what's being sold in this case. Okay, the phone. Good.
Another one. He sells her the phone. The phone.
Okay, now same sentence. So what is the indirect object? Yes. Yes, DeAndre. Yes, Hill. Yes, Kinsey. Anyone else? Yes, Serenity. Good job. Yes, Isadora. Good job. Okay, so remember the idea. He sells the phone to her, right? To her or for her. So our indirect object is going to be her, right? Good job. Okay.
The phone is the direct object. Her is the indirect object pronoun. I bought you a present. A present.
Okay. Once again, the direct object, you guys. Yes, very good. Very good. Anyone else? Yep. Okay. So what is being bought is the present. Very good. That's your direct object. Okay. Now, what is the indirect object? Good, Trey. Good, Jada. Serenity, muy bien. Kenzie, muy bien. Okay. Hill, very good. So it's being bought. The present is being bought for you. Okay. And so the answer is you. Very good.
A present is the direct object in this one, and you is the indirect object pronoun. Got this? Asking those questions, what or whom, then to whom or for whom, really does work. Now, since indirect objects are basic.
Okay, so direct objects answer what question? Do they answer what? Or for who or to who? A, B, or C. If it's a direct object, yes, it answers the question what, right? What is being sold? What is being bought? What is being carried? What, right? Okay. And then the indirect object, you guys. That's our answer. What question does it answer? Yes, Trey. Okay. Anyone else? Yes. If you said A and B, you're correct. Okay. To whom or for whom, right? You're buying the present for Bob. You give the present to Bob, right? So to who or for who. Okay. Good.
are basically where the direct object is going, it's safe to say you can't have an indirect object or indirect object pronoun without a direct object. But what about this sentence? He writes me every week. Él me escribe cada semana. To whom does he write? To me. So me is the indirect object pronoun. But what does he write? Every week? That's not right. But there's nothing else, no other words, and you can't have an indirect object without a direct object. What's going on?
Okay. So what is the indirect object pronoun? He just told us it was me, right? Because he writes to me. Okay. All right. Give me a score, 3, 2, 1. How you feeling about these object pronouns now so far? 3, 2, 1. 3, you feeling better. 2, Isadora. Okay. 2, Hill. Okay. All right. Let's go. Let's just do a couple more of these because I want to make sure we have some time. Okay.
What's going on here? He didn't write me literally, like write on me, or maybe trace an outline of me. You have to look into the meaning of the sentence, not just the words. He wrote a letter to me, or a postcard, or maybe a poem. I don't know. The direct object is implied. It exists, it's just implied. Simply talking about this makes it more complicated than it really is. All that's important.
Okay, let's just skip.
What's important is you use the correct word at the correct time. Lo, la, los, and las for direct objects, and la and las for indirect objects. But this idea of an implied direct object, this will come into play in the future several times. So it really does help to at least understand the theory. Then just move on. Another example. He tells me.
Okay. Identify the indirect object. He tells me, right? Well, who's being told, or it's being told to me. So me would be our indirect object, right? We just don't know what's being told. Okay. All right. Can we switch gears now, you guys? Or do you think you want to finish this? Again, I'll give you a choice. You ready to do some regular practice? Because I want to make sure you have some work time. Okay. All right, let me switch screens up. Okay. All right, let me get myself together. Regular practice. I gotcha. My computer's a little slow. Give it a minute, guys. I think the tab's been open too long. It doesn't want to respond to me. Okay. So can you all meet me over in Canvas, por favor? Meet me over in Canvas. You might need to refresh your screen if you had the tab open. And we are in our special module. So scroll on to the special module. And the very last thing is this practice sheet. Okay. Here's what we've done so far on indirect objects. Okay. So we have a practice sheet that combines both direct object and indirect object. Okay. If you open it up, okay, give me a thumbs up if you're there, you guys. I need to know that you're there without going to Go Guardian. Okay. Are you there, Jada? Thank you. Kenzie, Miracle. Okay, perfect. So you guys, I put in here in your instructions, I put the examples and the charts. These are the direct object. These are the indirect. So make sure you're reading them correctly so that you can kind of scroll up and down as you need to. Okay. You can fill in the chart if that's helpful to you based on these. And that's fine. If you just want to scroll up and down in the instructions, that's fine too. But here's what we need to do, okay? I would use a text box here. You do what you feel comfortable with, okay? If you think you can't finish this today, then do a Cami or download it as a PDF or whatever. But check it out, you guys. They have it underlined for you. So the first 8 of these are direct objects. Okay. The rest of these are indirect. How do I know? Because it says ah, right, you guys? It says ah. And this one down here is to, in other words, para. Okay. So actually, I told you wrong. So the first 12 are direct objects. Okay. "13 through the rest are indirect. Okay. So be careful which pronoun you use. Do you want to do one together? You can do one of each together. So, preparo la comida. What is it I'm preparing? I'm preparing the food, which is la, singular. So my verb is prepare. So I'm going to say la preparo, because that's my verb. Remember, these go in front of the verb. Okay. These go in front of the first verb. Right? Everybody clear on that one? Let's scroll down here. Let's do like one of these. Leemos un libro a nuestro hijo, to our son. So, leemos un libro. Okay. We are reading a book to him. Okay, so scroll down to 13. We are reading a book to our son. We are reading a book to him. Leemos. Okay, questions? Okay, so please work on that in Zoom with me. I'll be more than happy to help you. Okay. If you get it finished, then by all means work on something else that maybe you need to get done in Spanish. Mhm. I should take attendance, huh? Okay, you can skip those charts, you guys, in the note, in the handout, in the practice sheet. If you want, since they're already in the instructions, and just concentrate on the sentences. Some of you, I think, also still need to complete the quiz that we took on the prueba that we took on the preterite, the past tense, as well as the direct object pronouns. It's a prueba we took last week. So if you haven't done that, you need to put that on your radar by Friday. You don't want to have to do those things over break, right? Okay, how we doing, you guys? I'm not getting any questions from you. I'm in Go Guardian with you. If there's something that you need help with, I see some of you are making some progress. Let me know how I can jumpstart you. If you need a little jump start. Can always work on late work as well and come back to this, whatever kind of suits your brain better. Very good, Hill. I can see that. Yep. Okay, you guys, we have 10 minutes. Let me know if I can help you. Let me know if you need explanation, maybe with an old assignment of some sort. Jada, I don't know. I'm not sure what you're working on. If there's any way I can help you, or Generical. Yep. Serenity in front of the verb, right? Find the verb in front of the verb. Okay, the first verb. Okay, Isadora, you doing all right there? Okay. Trey, how are you doing? Okay, oh, you're working on your prueba? Okay, good. Let me know if you have a question. Kinsey, I love that. That's good. You guys are doing a great job. Keep it up. Let me know if I can help, right? That's what I'm here for. You can, yes, that'd probably be the easiest thing to do, Kinsey. If you don't want to hassle with like trying to download that and then uploading it again, whatever's easier for you, Kinsey, that would work just fine. Yeah. You guys remember, if you need to take a break from those object pronouns on that practice sheet, if you can save it, that's cool. And then maybe work on an older assignment, whatever. I get it. Sometimes we need brain breaks, right, from that thing. Whatever I don't have any, I don't care which way, like whatever's easier for you, as long as I can see it and give you some points for it, right? So whatever works for you is fine with me, Kinsey. Janerical, do you have a question? Did you figure it out, Kenzie? Oh, you're gonna inbox it to me? Is that what you're gonna do? Okay, thank you. Isadora, how about you? How are you coming along? Yay. So, you might want to head on over. If you finish this and you get it turned in, go back into Canvas. Remember those things that have the little link symbol are your VHL assignments, and you want to make sure you guys have all of those done as well. And your Prueba and your Alebrije. So Serenity, the question is, hold on, Serenity. The question is, ¿Quieres prepararlo? So identify the object pronoun, lo. Is that masculine or feminine? Singular or plural? Okay. Is it masculine or feminine, singular or plural? Lo. It's masculine, right? Is it singular or plural? Is it lo, L-O? Is it singular or plural? Singular. It doesn't have an S on it, right? So it's singular. So you need to pick the item that is masculine and singular. Does that make sense? Okay. All righty. Oh, that's our time, you guys. Any last minute questions before we sign off today? Okay, so Wednesday is Shine. Okay, don't forget, Wednesday is Shine. I should be here. If I'm not in class, I'm in the Shine link with you. Okay, I'm zooming on Shine with you. Okay, you guys? But whatever you need, send me a message, and if you have a question, I'll try to help you. Okay? All right. Adios a todos. Good job, you guys. Thanks. I appreciate your hard work. Adios.